Hi everyone, and welcome back to the English of Everything. It's time for another describing pictures lesson. Now I have about 10 pictures that I took randomly off my phone over the last couple of months, and I'm going to try and describe them to you in as much detail and hopefully give you more vocabulary, better ways to describe things, because being able to describe things is an essential part of learning any language and making yourself more understood, and it also makes the language more complex and richer, and you sound much better with the more words you can use. So this is your lesson for today. Here's 10 pictures. Enjoy. So this first picture we have is of a children's playground. Somewhere I took my daughter, and it's a little bit interesting. It's not the same as a normal playground that I've seen before. It's very high and it's very elevated, and the children are able to climb up through the red netting or through the red climbing area into a walkway across the top. And you can see in the middle of the picture there is a very long slide, and this is a silver metal tubular slide, and it's a tube, which means it's hollow in the middle, and children are able to slide down it and they come out at the opening at the bottom. So it's a long slide. You can see at the front of the picture there are two red ropes, and these are the supporting ropes that hold up the structure of this climbing frame. Across the top left hand side you can see where there is a walkway, and children are able to walk along this walkway. Just behind the silver slide there is red ropes which are made into a climbing frame, and you can see there are a couple of children who are climbing up this red rope to get to the walkway. Around the climbing frame you can see at the bottom of the picture there's some grass. Underneath the climbing frame there's some small stones or pebbles, so it's a little bit softer, and there are a couple of wooden benches which people sit on, and between it all there are some trees. So this is a children's playground or a children's climbing frame. The next picture we have is from a ski slope, and I went skiing with my family a couple of weeks ago, and this is in a mountain range, or it's a hill range called 𝕼𝕬𝕬 in the Czech Republic. It's on the border with Slovakia. So you can see in the foreground or in the front of the picture there are two skiers, and on their feet they have skis, and in their hands they have ski poles. Now a little bit about what the people are wearing. When you go skiing, it's usually a good idea to wear a helmet, a ski jacket, and on your legs you have something called salopettes, which are very warm trousers, and they are waterproof and they stop the water going into your legs and making you cold. You have a lot of snow on the floor, which of course is very useful when you go skiing. In the background, as you go further down, you will go down the ski slope, which is where you go down, and you can see a small town or a small village at the bottom of the ski slope, which leads into a valley. And a valley is where two hills or two mountains come down, and the place in the bottom. And on the far side, on the other side of the valley, you can see a lot of trees or forests, and between the trees there is a lot of snow and a couple of other small ski runs. And in the horizon, or on the horizon should I say, you can see the edge of the hill range where it becomes the sky, where you have a very nice light sky blue sky which made conditions for skiing extremely nice. So this is a ski slope. Now this picture was taken on a trip to London, which we took a few months ago, and you can see in front of you there is a statue of a lion. And it's made out of bronze, which is a type of metal. And this lion is lying down on all fours on a stone plinth. And these lions are in a place called Trafalgar Square, which is in the center of London, and they're very famous. A lot of tourists go and visit these. On the lion you can see it has 4 legs and a tail, which is wrapped around its foot. But one of the main things on the lion, is a good word, is the mane, which is the hair of the lion around his head. And male lions have a huge mane, and it shows their dominance. It shows how they are in the society. The bigger the mane, the stronger the lion, should we say. In the background of the picture, you can see a number of tourists taking photos next to the second lion, and there is a building in the back with 5 British flags, and these flags are called the Union Jack, and they are the flag of the United Kingdom or Great Britain. Again, you can see very small, wispy clouds in the sky, but other than that, it's a clear blue sky. One other piece of vocabulary. On the right-hand side of the picture, on the top of the building, there is a small structure with a number of small lines. And this is called a chimney. And this is where smoke comes out of the chimney when someone has a fire inside the building to heat the building. So these are chimneys on top of this building. So that's this picture. Now this picture, actually my wife took, and it was back here in Prague, and she took this picture because an idiot who drives this BMW managed to park his car and block the tram, so the tram was unable to get through the city, and apparently this was stuck there for quite some time. On the left you can see that the tram has its doors open, and there is an old man, or sometimes we call it a pensioner, who's looking out at the car, wondering how the situation is. Along the side of the pavement, which is the place where the people walk, there is a red and white railing, and this stops people walking out into the road and getting hit by trams. At the very bottom of the picture, next to the pavement, there is a metal grate, and this is called a storm drain, and this is for water to go into the storm drain. When it rains very heavily, and it goes down into the sewers under the ground and gets taken away so the streets don't get flooded. So this is an inconsiderate BMW driver who is blocking the tram along the road in Prague. This was taken inside a church, and it is a chandelier. And a chandelier is a hanging ornament, or it's a hanging piece with lights on that lights the room, and usually they have a lot of crystal and glass and diamonds on, and they're very shiny. And you can see that this chandelier has been suspended from a long way down from the tower which goes up. So this is a chandelier that is suspended from the roof of a church. Now I took this photo in a restaurant that we went to in the mountains while we were skiing the other week, and this is of a stuffed moose head. The animal is called a moose, and I apologize if you're vegetarian animal rights. This is not something I endorse. I'm not a big fan of hunting or anything like this, but this just happened to be in the restaurant where we went to. And the moose is an animal, and stuffed means that the animal is dead and they filled it with something else so it looks like it's alive, and it's hanging from the wall. Now this moose is native to Canada, and you can see from its head it has two very big antlers. And these are something that mooses grow, and they're able to either fight with, or it shows their dominance, it shows their age, it shows their part of society. So this is a moose. In the background you can see there is a deer. And a deer is another type of animal, and lives in the forests in Europe. And again, it has two antlers which come out the top of its head. And this is a deer. You can see that it's a wooden structure. The roof of the building is a wooden structure. And there is an extractor fan just next to the antler of the reindeer. It's a square object in the roof with a circular cutout disc. And this is for extracting smoke, extracting bad smells out of the room, and generally replacing it with fresh air. So there is an extractor fan in the roof. This picture is of my dog Yuki and a snowman. In Prague it's been snowing quite a lot recently, so we've been out for a walk. We go out many times every day, and Yuki is sitting in front of the snowman looking at the camera. In front of her there is a tennis ball which she loves. It's her favorite thing, and she chases it everywhere. The snowman is obviously made out of snow, but he has some stones which are for his eyes, nose, and buttons. He has 4 buttons down the front of him which represent a coat he is wearing. In the background you can see there are a number of parked cars in front of the buildings and the snow-covered trees. So all the branches on the trees are covered in snow. So this is a winter scene from Prague. Prague's not always covered with snow. Sometimes it's very sunny and very nice, and this was a photo that was taken on a very clear blue day. And this is a very famous view of Prague. This is Prague Castle up on the hill, and this is where the president lives. And this main structure at the top is called St. Václav's Cathedral, and this is the religious, or this is the church in the middle of the presidential castle. In front, you can see a bridge, and this is a bridge for trams. And you know it's for trams because there are a number of wires suspended above the bridge, and these are supplying the electricity to the trams for traveling. Underneath the bridge, we have the river, which is the river Vltava, and you can see there are lots of ripples, which means it's a little bit of wind is blowing, and so the surface of the water is not completely calm. And you can see the reflection from the bridge in the water. So this is a view of Prague on a beautiful blue sunny day. Now, this was also taken in Prague, and this is not far from my house. And this is a square in Prague, and there's a very big church in the background. You can see the church, there's a big clock face and a cross on the top of the church. But what's more interesting about this picture is it was taken during a large demonstration. I can't actually remember what it was demonstrating against, but there are lots and lots of cyclists in the foreground, in the front. So everyone came out on their bikes, and there's one man on his phone who's waving to somebody else, and they are all congregating in one place, which means they all come together in one place, and they were having a demonstration against something. So this is the square in Prague. This last photo shows that an unfortunate driver has had an accident with his car, or her car. But the thing that was strange, and the reason why I took this photo, was this was parked normally in the center of Prague near our house. And you can see that the car has completely been smashed. The windscreen, the roof, the doors, the windows, the bonnet at the front, the light, everything is completely destroyed. And we live in a quite small residential area where people drive quite slow. So this must have been an accident from a highway or somewhere where they were traveling at higher speed. And they brought the car and just left it in the middle of where we were living. So it was there for a few days, and I don't know who actually took it away and disposed of it. But yeah, this is a completely smashed car. And the last piece of vocabulary I will tell you is something is a write-off. And a write-off means that the car is completely damaged, can't be saved, and there's no point in repairing it anymore. So this car is a write-off, and it had to be scrapped, which means taken to a place and destroyed. So this is a write-off car that had to be scrapped. So that's everything for now. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and you got some new vocabulary and new ways how to describe something. And I'll say thank you very much. Please give it a subscribe if you like, and I'll send you some new videos very soon. So have a nice day, everybody. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.